Have you ever wondered what really happens when you go full-time on YouTube, or when you make the leap to become a full-time content creator, influencer, whatever you'd prefer to call this line of work?
So hi, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today, I'm gonna add some value to this video created by Serene. So he's a YouTuber who quit her dream job after getting monetized. So without further ado, buckle up.
Sticking to the theme of numbers, let's talk all about making money. Making money from YouTube is probably one of the most enticing aspects of becoming a YouTuber for a lot of people. When I first got monetized and made my very first $2 on my first day, I was over the moon, because when you decide to do YouTube or social media content, most of the time you're doing work for free because you enjoy it and making $0, 0 cents for a long time before any money hits your bank account. So the idea that you can make money doing something you love and then it actually happening is amazing. Admittedly, I was drawn to that. Over the last few months, as I've talked to more creators, I haven't experienced this myself, but I can say that there are some really big checks being written for people that do YouTube and content. One of the best parts I've come to realize is if you're doing YouTube or content full time and you are your own boss, there's no limit to how much money you can make. As long as you're able to build the platform to get those opportunities, there is no ceiling. Unlike an hourly wage or a salary job, you're not waiting for a promotion, but getting to that point is a whole other story. So that was a huge learning that I started to wrap my head around, and it was super inspiring. Let's quickly talk about the ways that people make money on YouTube. One, there's AdSense on YouTube, which are basically the ads that run on the videos that you see. If you're a YouTube partner, then you'd make a percentage of the ad revenue for all the ads that run on your videos. There's also sponsored content, or brand deals as people call it, which is essentially a collaboration with a brand where the brand will pay you to feature their product or service in your content. There's also affiliate marketing, Patreon, or memberships, selling products or digital products or courses. There are so many ways that you can make money as a creator. A lot of these things you can do even without being full-time, but when you are full-time, these are no longer side hustle things or an extra deposit to your bank account. These are the things that are going to feed you and pay for your rent and support your entire life, basically.
And has you update with taxes? You might be wondering. In case you didn't, I'm glad you asked. A little disclaimer in here, this is not a legal advice nor a tax advice. So let's see what the Tax Out Canada says about it. According to subsection 248(1), the definition of a business, of course, does not include YouTube. And why am I sharing this? Because she is constantly saying that she's taking care of her business, is that YouTube is not a job. But we can group this as a calling, and a calling is inside a business. But unfortunately, a business is not the same as a company. Therefore, she does pay taxes as a source of income and not as a corporation. And this makes a huge difference. Why? Because as a personal source of income, she's gonna have her income from YouTube plus other incomes, and then she's gonna tax them according to her taxable threshold. Probably she's between 26% and 20.5%, because it's the majority of the middle class are. By the other hand, you see, if she would have received the money as a corporation, she had paid only 9% of taxes if she Canadian a small business. Then this is a huge game changer. But remember, for this kind of strategy or this kind of planning is before the action, before the transaction, before things happened, because you cannot know.
The money is not consistent when it comes to YouTube or content or influencing. I can't speak for creators at all sizes because I only know my own experience, but I can say that the money is not going to look like getting the same paycheck every 2 weeks or whenever you get paid at your job. It's going to look like getting paid based off of a bunch of factors that are often outside of your control, and that's the nature of doing content full time. To help navigate this, a huge part of making a decision of whether to do YouTube full time or not is financial planning. I am far from a numbers or finance type of person, But I definitely wouldn't have made the decision to quit my job without another job lined up if I didn't have savings. When you don't have a consistent income, there's a lot of things that you need to be prepared for. Again, it is very personal, but having your finances in check before doing something like this is something I would highly recommend. Another big piece when it comes to creator income is revenue diversification. It is basically, as the name suggests, which is diversifying the ways that you make money. The idea of this is so you're not putting so much stress on one source of income and relying solely on that source of income in case anything happens. And it's especially important when you are doing YouTube or content full time, because there are so many factors that I keep saying that are out of your control. If the algorithm changes one day, or if suddenly something happens to the market and advertisers aren't spending as much money, then budgets get pulled back, and so many things then affect how much money you're making. So at least if you're not relying on one source of income, if things are slower for brand deals that month, but you're able to make more through affiliates, or you're able to make more in ad revenue, or vice versa, then that can at least help balance things out. That said, even though I know having diverse sources of income is important, I also realize I don't necessarily want to have every source of income. Just because you can make money from doing a bunch of things, selling a bunch of things, doesn't mean that you have to if it doesn't align with the brand that you want to build or the type of creator that you want to be.
Talking about planning, what she's saying is really gold. She really knows what she's talking about. The key point is to always plan. I want you to learn from the expert. Before you say anything, because I know that everyone has their own opinion about the government, but in fact, the government has the highest standards on paper. So let's look at this chart. The first step you need to take is to determine your priorities over, let's say, 1 to 5 years. And then you need to spend that money according to those priorities. Everybody has a different life priorities. But the key is to have at least 2 sources of income at the beginning, or at least 2 jobs. And then you need to live below your means. You actually to spend less money than you are earning. And when you are doing this properly, you will have some extra money to save. Before saving any money, the most important thing that you need to do is pay your debts. If you have debts. All the time, the interest that you are paying are greater than whatever money you want to invest in the markets. If somebody tells you otherwise, it's a scam, so run away. That's the most important advice that I can give you. The second most important advice, it is not about the money you're investing, it's the amount of bullets that you are actually dodging by not investing in quick ways to get rich, because they do not exist unless you get incredibly lucky, which is improbable and super rare. And spending your money in things that you need to impress people who really don't care about you. After this, you're going to save 12 months all your expenses in a high interest saving account. They usually give us between 2% and 5% here in Canada. If you don't know how much money you have to save, you just need to take the 3 basics: your rent or mortgage, your food, and your transportation, plus any other fixed expense. And of course, you need to add some leisure time, like going to restaurants, probably movies, theater, sports, another activity you want. And finally, when you reach this, the next step is to invest.
The last thing I'll touch on when it comes to money, and of course this would be the biggest area, but that is how much making money ended up shifting my perspectives on making content. And basically the way that I looked at the whole process. It's a shift that a lot of people talk about, and I mentioned it briefly earlier on, I think, but it's around the idea of not just thinking of yourself as a creator anymore, but then looking at your content as a business. Naturally, if you want to do this full time, then it is your business. So for me, I knew that this shift was going to happen once I started to focus in more on my YouTube channel, but I didn't realize where I really stood within the spectrum of creativity and business. And I definitely didn't consider how that might change the way that I view making videos. If making money is the main aspiration, there's always going to be more things that you can do, but that can often come at the sacrifice of the quality of the videos that somebody makes, or maybe the own passion that you have, because the focus might not be on making the most creative or fulfilling project anymore. I'm sure those things vary a lot between everyone, and everyone has different relationships with money in general. But for me, I definitely had to take some time to think about that and basically evaluate where I was on the spectrum of, creativity and business and how that impacted my content.
There are different types of companies in Canada. We have sole proprietorships, which is the case of this girl. We have partnership, corporations, and cooperatives. I want you to switch the mindset. Another school that you saying that is your business, it makes you feel like a business owner, and according to the definition, is you like a business. But as a YouTuber, you're not a business owner. So treat it like your second job. The only difference between your job as a YouTuber and your 9-to-5 job is you are allowed to decrease your income with your expenses. In this case, if she's paying for the music, for the soundtracks, for the sounds, for the editing program, these expenses are gonna help her to pay less taxes. But the expenses are limited. You cannot have as much as deductions as a corporation. And on top of that, as we explored before, you're gonna pay way more taxes. If you receive the money as a YouTuber, aka sole proprietorship, the main disadvantage of a corporation, of course, is the initial money that you will pay. This involves registration, staff, you need to comply with more laws and regulation, etc., etc. But your plan is to live from YouTube income. As you are growing, the corporation is going to give you more protection in your life, your assets, and you're gonna pay less taxes. And of course, you be a real business owner or a CEO. But if it is not your intentions, just keep it small, like I'm trying to. Let me know what you all think in the comments.
I think it's important to have a healthy relationship with YouTube analytics and metrics, whether or not you're full-time on YouTube or any other social platform for that matter.
Thank you so much for staying at the end of the video. I will leave the link to her YouTube channel in case you want to subscribe. See you next time.